And speaking of the election, only 53 days until the general election here in the state of Idaho, and we seem to be in a very unique political climate in recent months and years in the country and here in Idaho. No secrets here, though. The political atmosphere in the Gem State is elevated. So what does that mean heading into the election? Could intense political activation from things like the Dobbs decision or the January 6th committee impact Idaho election spending and outcomes? Well, to set the tone here, less than 2 months out from Election Day, I sat down with Boise State political expert Dr. Charles Hunt. We focused on a race seeing a lot of donations in recent weeks, the race to be Idaho's next Attorney General. Ahead of the general election on November 8th, millions and millions of dollars are flowing into political campaigns through donations here in Idaho. As of Friday afternoon, in total, 54,648 donors have given $43,837,132 to about 1,000 candidates and 230 political action committees. And attention expands far beyond the top race on the ticket, the race for Idaho's governor. Just ask Boise State political expert Dr. Charles Hunt.
Particularly these lower tier, or I should say quote unquote lower tier statewide races, tend to be kind of sleeper races. They're not ones that people tend to pay a lot of attention to. Governor and lieutenant governor tend to get the lion's share of the attention. But we have seen a ton of fundraising in the AG's race in particular. And a lot of this is a sign of voter enthusiasm, right, on either side, and voter attention to issues like abortion that are good at garnering a lot of voter attention in ways that you might not have seen otherwise.
The Idaho AG's race has seen about $1 million contributed to the top candidates, Republican Raul Labrador and Democrat Tom Arkush. The Arkush campaign reports more than $200,000 in donations since joining the race in late July. Labrador reports a little more than $775,000. In a state where Republicans win a large majority of statewide races, Dr. Hunt says the race for AG is unique.
We were talking about the Republican primary, and back in May, pretty much all of the more farther right Trump-aligned statewide Republican candidates went down to the more establishment candidates, right? You had Brad Little winning, right? You had Phil McGrain winning, you had Scott Bedke winning. But the AG's race is one where that did not happen, right? You had Raul Labrador win, and although in some ways he's a conventional politician, right, used to be a member of the House, he has gone much more in this far-right direction, and so it is possible that Democrats or that outside groups more affiliated with the left see this as a more winnable statewide race. I would question whether it is actually a winnable statewide race. Like you said, this is Idaho, but if Democrats see that there are enough Republicans and independents who see some of the things that Labrador has said, around whatever it is around COVID or vaccines or election denial or these other things, and think, that's a bridge too far. I'll vote for Little, I'll vote for Bedke, but I'm either going to sit this one out or maybe I'll even vote for the Democrat, right? And so, I would question how winnable it actually is, but if there is a winnable statewide race, I would say it's that one. For the Democrats.
With that said, Dr. Hunt adds that a close race, even if it is a Republican win in the end, is also telling. There is a nationwide trend of political activation following the reversal of Roe v. Wade.
If these races are closer than they would have otherwise been, that sends them a message that maybe some of the moderates, the independents, or more moderate Republicans maybe wouldn't be so on board with more extreme abortion bans like we've been seeing in some other states that have no exception for the health or life of the mother, that do not have exceptions for rape and incest, right? And that's true about abortion, and I think it's true about other issues as well.
What do you think the correlation is between fundraising and actually winning an election? Or is it unique in Idaho? Is it different?
It's always difficult to disentangle these things because of how much that these competitive races attract money, right? Like I said before, voters and interest groups send money to races that they already think are competitive, right? So did the race become competitive because the money went there, or did the money go there because the race is close? It's always hard to know, but money can go a long way, especially in small states with smaller electorates. And so especially because a lot of times you have these more underfunded Democratic candidates in Idaho, just like you might have more underfunded Republican candidates in blue states like California or Oregon, right? And so that money can go a long way, especially if a race is already close.
So we're keeping our eyes on everything, and if there's something you want us to look into ahead of the November election, you can text us right here, 208-321-5614.